I'm gonna do. I'm gonna answer what somebody asked me about how you would stretch your Achilles, and if you had sore heels, and sometimes people get like cramps in their feet and stuff. So I'll show you what I have done. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a chair, and I'm gonna use it to put pressure. I'll show you what I'm doing. So on the chair, I hope you can see this. I'm going to put my foot with my dusty sock. I'm going to put my foot towards the the edge that's nearest to me with my heel down. I'm going to bring my knee over my foot as much as I can, and I'm also going to try not to let my hip come out. I'm going to keep my hip kind of square, and I'm stretching the Achilles from here. It's also opening up the ankle flexibility, and I'm putting my pressure, like my chest is on my knee, and it feels really good. It feels really good, and you can also go out like to the side slightly with the knee, and that gets a different part of your calf, and then you can also go in, that gets a different part of your calf. So when you're going in, it gets on the inside, and when you're going out, it goes on the outside. Anyway, so that feels really good. I'm going to do the other side. Follow along if you want. And again, I have my heel down. I never lift my heel here. And I'm not, see, my hip wants to go out just because I have a little knock knee. So, and also tightness in my ankles. So, so I'm just pushing this, and I'm using the chair also to sort of pull me forward. So I'm putting more pressure on my Achilles and also on the ankle, and I'm going to move my knee out slightly, and that's getting this inside, and then I'm moving it in slightly, and that's getting this part, and I'm going to go back over, and I'm really looking to get flexibility in the calf. Now the next thing I'm going to do also for the Achilles, I don't need this anymore, so I just put it back here, because why not? Okay, so this is called the bob. It is a triangular thing, and it bobs. That's why it's called bob, and I think the inventor is named Bob. So with this one, now you might need a chair. Like if you needed a chair, you would put your hands on the chair. I can put my hands on the floor with this. I'm gonna go back a little bit more. Sorry, it's so bright. I do have the windows, most windows. But I would put your hands on the chair, and then you're gonna bring your legs back, and you're gonna go back and forth while you're sort of just activating the front part of your leg and the stretch. So there's a stretch in the Achilles, and then there's this whole front part of your leg is getting a little exercise. Most people never exercise the front of their legs because of their shins, because when do you do that, right? So with this, you just start to relax into it. Again, use a chair, use a table, use something that will do it. And you don't need this particular thing. I like it because it moves, but you could probably use, a wedge, a yoga wedge. So that's for that. Those are all for the Achilles. This is more for the Achilles. These are 2 cork balls I got on Amazon, and I'm going to use them as a way to really put some pressure on my Achilles. So I'm gonna move them so they're under my calves, and I'm gonna go forward, and I'm basically using them on my calves. That's gonna give my calves more flexibility, and it's kind of a massage. It's like a weird massage, but it's kind of a massage. So I'm doing this. I'll just go back a little further so you can see, so here I'm putting them just under my ankles, and then as I move forward, they go all the way up to my knees, and then all the way back. And you could use these on your hamstrings too if that was an issue. But we're just doing this. Now, for the feet, this is something else. So this one, you could do this for like a few minutes. It feels pretty good. This now is something weird. Again, most people will need a a chair or something. I'm putting it under the arch of my feet. The reason I'm doing that is because our feet rarely get movement of the bones. And so you can put this all the way up to the front of your feet and all the way, you might lose it here and there, but to the heel of your feet. And so that is a really good, weird massage. It feels really weird and really good, but it's actually not just massaging your feet, it's moving the bones. They just don't get much movement, throughout your day. So that's really fun, I think. I mean, everybody's got their own idea of fun. Now this is something that is not meant for this. This is a reaction ball, and it bounces crooked, right? That's why I like it. So I use it all the time, but it's very stiff. And so what I do is I will use this. Let's say I want to do it on my heel. Something. It doesn't have to be this. It could be the thick end of a screwdriver. Something. But you're just going to move it through your feet. And I always do it on this inner, the part right under the ankle, that little kind of circle. That has to do with your bladder and your sex organs and your heel. You can do it right on your heel. You can do all the way up, like at the very tip of your heel. It feels really good, actually. And there's so many things you can use. You could, like I said, you could use a screwdriver. You could use if you have a round-handled hairbrush. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be like something specific. Just something that will give you pressure, and that will be a good massage. And I do, obviously do both feet, and I'll do the other ankle. I didn't do that one on this one. But you're doing both of these things. And this is going to be really good for any kind of pressure. And you can, if that doesn't feel good, what I was showing you with the balls, let me finish this foot and then I'll go back to that one thing. With the balls underneath the feet. If that doesn't feel good to do it that way, you can also do it in a bridge, and I'll show you how to do that. But you can use, while you're doing the ball, you could stand at a counter or at a table and hold on while you're moving your feet. I just like to go forward just because I get the stretch in my ankles as well, and I get more pressure on my feet. Also, all of your feet and your hands have acupressure points to different parts of your body. So when you're doing this, you're actually activating, the pressure points that are somehow connected to different parts of your body. I'm not exactly sure how they're connected, but they seem to be connected. I also go slightly up on the outside, just maybe because of me. The way I go, I think I have, because my legs are a little knock-kneed, so I get a lot of pressure on the outside of here, so I just do that. There's so many things you can use for this. There's also something called a fascia blaster. I used to use it all the time. I just don't use it anymore. And this to me feels better, but everything's, you do it as you wish. Then this is the, if I was going to do it on a lighter scale, if it was too much pressure, you could do something like this, where you're just using the ball. And, you don't even need a ball. You could use tennis balls. You could use a rolling pin. You just need something that will move your bones and you can roll all across them. And it feels really good. And all of these things together will help your feet be happier and your Achilles be happier. And the only other thing, which I was showing you on the bob, is that you want to do exercises. I don't have it out though, but I'll show you later or some other time maybe. It's I have a foot plate with a small band on it, and the small band, sometimes I put it when I'm sitting, and the band provides resistance, and I'm doing this because this movement of the front, we just don't get it enough. And so this movement is really key for activating, especially, I mean, when you have some weight here, when you're doing it like this, you have weight on you. And so that is part of it. You can also just, if you want, put your hands under your feet. That's a yoga move. That feels good. And the only other thing I was going to say, oh yeah, you always want to stretch your toes both directions. I do this all the time. So I've got my toes up. It's like my fingers are, my toes are like that underneath me, so you can see. So they're up like that, and then I would do this and just push them down to stretch the whole feet. And oh, that feels so good. It just feels good. You can also toggle your feet. That's something I like to do in general. And basically, the more blood flow you get to any part of your body, the more you have movement. Just so you know, like most shoes stop the movement of the feet. And so I use shoes like ballet slippers. I use shoes that are like ballet slippers, so my feet have the ability to move. And they have like a very thin leather. They don't have a arch support. They don't have, any support. It's just basically leather that is on my foot. And then and very light leather, not very much. So I wear that a lot. Sometimes my boots even, I could roll my boots up like the sole because it's pretty flexible. I try to wear everything on my feet that are flexible, because most of the issues that we have are from the inflexible shoes that we wear. That's a huge issue. So I have learned to wear more flexible soled shoes for my own comfort. I hope this helps. It's short and sweet, but I hope it helps. Thank you so much.